So much comes out of storms, so much clarity after the storm calms down, or sometimes when people are really strong, they can actually look in the eye of the storm and see where they can get stronger and better. Welcome to Hope to Recharge podcast. Thank you for joining me here again today. Every week we meet here to break the stigma around mental health and to bring you insight and inspiration and lots of practical tips from personal stories or professionals around the world that share how they turn their journey of mental health into healing or to thriving. Together we will break the stigma one story at a time. In mental health, together is always better. Thank you for joining me here today. I'm your host, Matana. Let's get started. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.com, the leading online platform for therapy. You can access thousands of therapists one click away. Go check out BetterHelp.com/hope to recharge. Get 10% off your first month. Start your wellness now. Before we jump into today's episode, I would like to introduce to you a new package that I have out there for listeners that want to change something in their life. They might feel stuck, they might feel not inspired or a lack of motivation, and they know that where they are now is just not good enough and they want a little bit more. They're not sure what it is. They might be in a fog, they might be in a lack of inspiration, or they just need some clarity. This package is 8 one-on-one sessions with me, and I'm going to gift you in these sessions a specific custom-made program for you and your life and anything that's going on in your life, using the tools that I incorporated in my healing and my journey that I incorporate every single day in my life with challenges. We're going to talk about gratitude. We're going to talk about acceptance, radical acceptance, forgiveness, and what it means to live in a positive mindset. If you want to hear more about this program, go to my website, hopetorecharge.com. You'll see link in the show notes. It's called Gift of Light. Don't miss out. It's limited time just for the holiday season now. I'm gifting a few of these away, so go check it out and see if this is something you want to gift yourself. Hi there, everyone. It is December. I can't believe it. I'm sorry. I had a terrible sore throat. I sound weird, but I said, you know what? I need to get this episode out for myself and for the beginning of December to wrap up the year. And I'm not going to let my hoarse voice come in the way of me sharing what is coming up. So December 2020, we are wrapping up 2020. So much to say about 2020. What I want to end the year with is with the thoughts and stories on resilience. Not resilience through COVID, resilience in life in general, and that people can implement this resilience in life when things like COVID come our way. And I think it's so important to know that as humans, we are resilient. We have the power to overcome storms in our life. Storms come our way in order to test our muscles, in order to test our stability, in order to remind us how strong we are, in order to perfect certain imperfections in ourselves, in our emotions, in our relationships. So much comes out of storms. So much clarity after the storm calms down, or sometimes when people are really strong, they can actually look in the eye of the storm and see where they can get stronger and better. I want to wrap up the year on Hope to Recharge and use the topic of resilience. We're going to have some interesting conversations and stories from others all over the world. The last episode that was part 2 of Heal with Gold was also about the idea of resilience. Getting up, moving forward, not allowing our story in our mind to give up on ourselves. And what is it like to heal with gold? If you did not listen to the episode Heal with Gold, so it's 133 and 135, I strongly recommend you go listen to it. I also have an episode that was pretty popular. It was my solo episode 132, Blame versus Personal Choices. If you haven't listened to that before you go into the resilience month, go listen to it, because I think the mindset and understanding that we have choices, understanding that there's no one to blame. Life brings us stuff to learn. Life brings us challenges so we can learn, so we can understand ourselves better, that we can implement better for the future. My husband taught me something that his mentor taught him. Never bring the past into the future or into the present unless it is going to help you move forward. So if something happened in the past, the only reason you should bring it into the future is to learn from it, how to get better, how to do things differently, how to improve. When we bring the past into the present, we don't bring it in order to dwell in it and to debilitate us. We bring it in order to move forward, to learn. And you know what? We constantly learn. I'm 44 years old, and I think this past year, I have learned so much about myself, more than I think I learned in 10 years of my recovery. Is that amazing? I learned so much of my strengths, so much of my triggers, so much of my instability, so much of my worries, so much of my shame, so much of my strengths. I learned my strengths. I learned what motivates me. I learned what triggers me. I learned what makes me really happy inside. I learned priorities. I learned more about my core values and why they are my core values. I learned so much. So I could say, oh my gosh, I'm 44 and only now I'm starting to learn what I didn't learn for so many years. Yes, you know what? 2020 was an amazing year of education for me and my family. Really had a great year to educate ourselves, on our relationships, on our boundaries, on our capabilities, on so much. I said this before, but my husband incorporated this new saying during 2020. I'm very OCD and we have to do things a certain way. And if we were born doing things a certain way, we do it a certain way because that's the way we do it, until I realized that it doesn't serve me. So during COVID, we had to adjust a lot of things in our lives, right? Schedules, routines. And I used to say, but we have to do blah, 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 blah. And we didn't. And Ari would say, and that's okay. And that's okay. We incorporated that term into our lives. And it really helped me understand that just because we used to do certain things a certain way and we no longer do it, that's okay. It doesn't mean that it won't go back to doing things the way we used to do it when things go back to normal. Maybe it shouldn't go back to normal, but certain things we need to say, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean that we don't want to improve. And let's say we failed on something, and failure is not failure unless we learn for the future. So let's say we didn't show up properly for somebody, something, for ourselves, and we're really hard on ourselves. So say, I didn't show up the way I would have wanted to, and that's okay. How can I learn from it? And that's okay, because beating ourselves up about it or people around you does not really help. Understanding acceptance, radical acceptance, really helps in times like this, and saying, and that's okay, doesn't mean it's okay forever. That's okay for whatever happened, and we'll move forward and we'll learn from it and we'll evolve. But to live the rigidness of we must do certain things a certain way doesn't serve us. And I'm talking to myself. I hope my husband listens to this episode because he'll be proud of me that I'm saying this out loud. And that's okay. When we accept the imperfection in ourselves and people around us, and that's okay. It doesn't mean it doesn't trigger us. It doesn't mean it doesn't frustrate us. It doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt us. But it means that that's okay, and we will be okay, and we will learn from it. Maybe we'll learn how to implement boundaries better. Maybe we will learn how to trust ourselves differently, trust others differently. Maybe. But saying, and that's okay, helps us come to center, to learn from it, and to bring the past into the present only in order to learn. Anyway, so December, we're wrapping up with resilient, the power of resilience. How can we become stronger during challenging times, that the next challenging times will be easier for us to walk through, to understand? I'm going to try to give a little bit more during the month, here and there, like a 2-minute inspirational thought. So there's going to be more than just one episode a week, but I'm going to try to just end 2020 with more positive mindset, more gratitude, more courage, a lot of looking at the year and seeing how much we did have good in the year, how blessed we are during this year. So if you want to share your story of resilience, you can email us. Go to our website, hopetorecharge.com, contact us, email us your story of resilience, and maybe we will feature it on our podcast, or I will read it out loud, or maybe I'll post it on our Facebook group. If you want to join the Facebook Facebook group, go to Hope to Recharge Community on Facebook. We hang out there. We share our therapy thoughts, our ideas, our personal growth, our challenges. We hold space for each other. It's a nice place to be. So if you want to join us there, go to Hope to Recharge Community on Facebook. Let's end this year strong, better, and positive to go into the next year. Bye till next time. Thank you for listening. We highly appreciate all of our listeners. And Mental Health Together is better. You being here means a tremendous amount to us. If you enjoyed this episode and you would like some extra boost of information and inspiration that is not on the podcast, you can go to our website, hopetorecharge.com. There's some premium content that for the cost of a cup of coffee, you can download some amazing information that will help you, a tool that will guide you through life. So don't skip a beat. Don't hesitate. Go to hopetorecharge.com. Thank you for joining us. And remember, if you enjoyed this and you want to say thank you, the best way of gratitude will be by you leaving a review or a comment or sharing this with a loved one. There is no greater form of gratitude for us. Thank you.